Hey friends! I'm really excited to be sharing my April TBR with you today because it is time for one of my favorite readathons, the Orilium Magical Readathon. All the information you need for it will be down below, but this is basically a magical school run by Gigi over at Book Roast, and she does an amazing job. I mean, I've never seen so much work put into something like this before. She created a whole world, basically. My character is in their second year, technically. I did the spring equinox and the fall equinox last year. And so I'm a sophomore in college in this world, and I'm going for necromancy. So I have a few books already picked out and some that I'll be picking out with you, and I'm just 100% ready to go. Okay, for my first class, I'm taking a shape-shifting class, and the prompt for that was a book with a wolf on the cover. I've already started this book. It is going to be my audiobook for the month, and that is The Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. I've had this on my wish list for a minute and haven't picked it up. When I finally got it, there's like a little wolf in the corner. It's very hard to see, but it's part of that like red outline. And so I couldn't find any other books on my shelf with a wolf. And so I was just like, all right, let's go with this. And then I bought it and realized it was like 29 hours long. So this will probably take me all month to get through. Okay, the next class I'm really excited to choose a book for. I'm gonna be doing animal studies, and you flip a coin and either do fiction or nonfiction. So if I land on fiction, I'm gonna be reading Girls Made of Snow and Glass. This is a Snow White retelling that I have put on several TBRs and just never got to. So I really need to get to this one, but I'm also worried. The last book that like I've had on my shelf for a while and never got to, I did DNF in March. So I'm worried that maybe I won't like this, like maybe I've just outgrown it since I bought it, but we'll see. For nonfiction, I recently bought Know My Name by Chanel Miller. I have heard great things about this, and it's one I've really been interested in picking up. Obviously, it follows a pretty tragic event, but I think it's an important read. Both of these I really, really want to get on my TBR. So I got a little dime. Heads is gonna be nonfiction, tails is gonna be fiction. Oh, it was tails. So it looks like I'm gonna be reading Girls Made of Snow and Glass this month. Okay, book number 3, I'll go ahead and say now I have 8 books that are on this list. For this next one, I tried to pick a small book because I don't have a lot of small books left on my shelf. They're either tiny kids books or giant fantasy novels, and I really want to be successful. That means I need to be able to read 8 books. I've definitely been slowing down with my reading. I think work has been pretty stressful, which I think I've been saying that since I started teaching. So I picked a small book. The class was Inscription, and you just had to pick a book from like any of your top shelves. Fortunately, mine are rainbow, so I have red and pink on the top, which means I could pick up Pirates Don't Wear Pink Sunglasses. They have been to Camp Lone Wolf before. I read a werewolf book. Or no, a Bigfoot. Bigfoot can't work at summer camps or something like that. So this is them back at the summer camp, and they have a new boating instructor that may or may not be a pirate. I may have said instructor instead of instructor. For my species class, I have to read a book that is very precise in its page count. It had to be between 389 and 415 pages. And I happened to find one that not only fits this description, but will help me complete a series. If you know anything about me, that does not happen very often. I tend to read the first few books and never finish a series. But the 4th book in the Mysterious Benedict Society, I think it's called The Riddle of Ages, has 391 pages. I love these books. This is the last book in the series. I think there's a prequel. I'm not big on prequels, so I'll probably just stop here. I don't have this one, so I'm gonna have to get it from the library, but these books follow a group of orphan geniuses who get adopted by a mysterious benefactor who needs them to help him stop an evil scientist from taking over the world type things. I don't know what book 4 is, but I do love a good riddle, and the title is Riddle of Ages. So I feel like this will be just another really fun addition to this really great series. If you're looking for middle grade, I highly recommend this. For my conjuration class, I had to get a recommendation. So I asked my boyfriend for a recommendation. I really thought he was going to give me a Warhammer book because he's been asking me to read some of the ones that we have on our shelf up here, and I haven't picked one up yet. He actually gave me Isaac Asimov's Foundation to start, and this is actually the physical book that I'm picking up first. So I'm 72 pages in. And so far, definitely enjoying it. Very intrigued. This is one of those classics that I have always wanted to pick up, and I'm glad I've been given the prompt to do so. Okay, I have 3 books left. The next one is actually a book I don't know what it's going to be yet. For my restoration class, I have to shuffle some books and pick one with my eyes closed. So I chose 3 potential books. I have Sawbones. This is The Horrifying and Hilarious Road to Modern Medicine. I really love the podcast Sawbones by the McElroy family. It's something I listen to regularly every week. We've had their book on our shelf for a while, and I haven't picked it up. Another nonfiction. I'm trying to read more nonfiction. Option 2 is Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. I love mythology and I love Neil Gaiman, so there's really no excuse for this having been on my shelf as long as it has without me picking it up. I feel like I just keep putting it off for some reason, and I don't have a good explanation for that. This is one of those covers that I just love. Option number 3, I tried to give myself a small one again because I really do want to get through all of these, and that is Martha Wells' Exit Strategy. It's the next one in the Murderbot series. I don't know much about the plot for this one. I think it's book 4, but I've enjoyed all of the Murderbot series so far, so I feel like all 3 of these are going to be solid reads. I'm trying to figure out how to shuffle these without knowing which one my hand is on. These 2 feel similar. This one does not. How can I change that? Okay, don't judge me. This is a weird solution to this problem, but these 2 have a very similar, like, kind of floppy feel, and Murderbot was a hardback that had like a different cover. Horror Store, also a floppy feel. So if I get Horror Store, this is actually going to be Exit Strategy. That's just my quick solution. So here we go. Hold up my 3 books. I'm trying to decide. My heart says middle. Is this even on camera? But middle may be too easy. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, Norse mythology. My next class is lore, and I needed a book with a map. I found this book on my shelf, The Queen's Assassin by Melissa de la Cruz, and can confirm it has a map. This follows an assassin that is well known, one of the top in the guild, and a girl who has been training her whole life to try and be as good as him. And when things start going down in the kingdom, they have to team up. I think they're trying to stop a war. I am not 100% sure. I always love a good assassin's trope. I know it's a very basic trope to enjoy, but I truly enjoy it. And so I'm excited to get to this one. I feel like I've also said that about every book. Okay, my last book was in demonology. You had to get a book that was compared to one of your favorites. So I recently listened to the second book in a series called Soul of the Sword, but the first book is Shadow of Fox, and it's about a kitsune. And when I was looking on Goodreads, it said recommended books you may also like similar to. One of them was A Magic Steeped in Poison, which I've had on my shelf. I bought it as soon as it came out because it has such a beautiful cover, and I know it's a duology with the second book already out. So I was a little bit confused that this came up though, because when I read the synopsis for this one, it didn't seem maybe like similar plot wise, but I think it may just have a similar vibe to it. I know this is about a girl that accidentally poisons her mother and then later on has to go to a tea competition because it might be the only way to save her sister. There is also a secret love with a boy, which is definitely something I appreciated in Shadow of the Fox. Here's my last book. Here's some titles. Hopefully you will see me get through all of these in the month of April so that I can successfully work my way into being a necromancer at the Orilium Academy. Let me know if you're joining in and what class you have chosen if you're doing the Orilium Readathon. I always enjoy hearing people's TBRs, so link yours down below. Have a great month. Bye, friends.